Welcome to Localization News You Can Use, your daily dose of localization know-how for Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. We begin today with a significant wave of hardware and software integration that is redefining how consumers experience translation in the physical world. Timekettle has announced its 2026 breakthroughs in AI interpretation, introducing a state-of-the-art translation engine selector and next-generation bone conduction voice capture. They have also launched the W4 Pro earbuds featuring Babel OS, which now supports real-time, two-way call translation to facilitate more natural cross-lingual conversations. Competitors are moving fast in this space. EarFun has unveiled its own advanced AI translation and dual-unit wireless audio technology, while Otek has launched the BM09 in India, an AI mouse capable of voice typing, voice translation, smart writing, and OCR. On the enterprise side, iFlotech is showcasing real-world AI voice and translation technologies at PepCom 2026, signaling a busy year for hardware-embedded language tools. Shifting to software infrastructure, NEC has become the first company worldwide to deploy DeepL Voice for real-time AI speech translation, marking a major adoption milestone for DeepL's voice capabilities. However, the technology supporting these advancements is still under scrutiny. Research highlighted by Slator reveals that Cascades still outperform SpeechLLMs in translation tasks, suggesting that despite the hype around end-to-end models, modular approaches remain superior for quality. Slator also reports that AI interpreting is poised to be the next great disruption, urging language service institutes, or LSIs, to act decisively in 2026. In the world of large language models, AWS has released guidance on how to evaluate LLMs for machine translation tasks, providing a framework for developers to benchmark performance. Meanwhile, Neosipiens has raised $11.5 million to further develop its AI voice technology. And Cohere Labs has launched a vision language dataset specifically for African languages, a critical step for low-resource language inclusion. In industry moves and acquisitions, Meta is set to acquire the Chinese-founded startup Manus, as noted by Diego Cresceri. From a leadership perspective, Marc Westray of Interpreters Unlimited has been named to the 2026 Leaders of Influence list. TransPerfect's Global Link technology has been honored in G2's Winter 2026 report, and Ingenuiti has secured a top 3 ranking for Best e-learning localization services. Additionally, BureauWorks has been named Tech of the Week by Nimdzi Insights, with Nimdzi continuing to track the rapid innovation in LangTech and AI. The conversation regarding the human element of our industry remains vibrant and at times contentious. Julian Pintat at Guerrilla Media published a piece titled "There Will Be a Happy Ending," offering a counter-narrative to industry doom-mongering. Echoing a focus on human value, Sebastian Barros discussed the concept of proof of humanity, which is likely to become a premium differentiator in a synthetic content world. Stefan Huyghe has been active in shaping the 2026 outlook, arguing that localization only matters if it drives actual user engagement and commerce. He suggests we should be optimistic about the new year, while warning about the most overlooked metrics in localization and addressing those translators who feel nervous about the future. Conversely, Diego Cresceri observed that localization often feels stuck between two opposite poles and argued that the industry suffers more from a marketing problem than an innovation problem. On the buyer side, Jakov Milicevic questioned why language service buyers often shoot themselves in the foot with poor procurement strategies. Programming Insider published a piece on what businesses get wrong about language in 2026, while a report from Marketing Brew featuring Steve Rotter discussed the nuances of co-working and collaboration in this evolving landscape. Regarding operational excellence, Mohammed Ugesh shared insights on how a CTO should evaluate language AI today. Rahat V. Gora discussed the convergence of LSPs, LSIs, and LangOps, while Georgios Tsiakos used the metaphor of a broken Control-Z to discuss error management. Alyssa Cruz provided clarity on nonfiction writing and book editing standards, which remains relevant for high-quality localization. We also see regional and association updates. The European Union of Associations of Translation Companies, or EUATC, reports that the Portuguese LSC Association is teaming up with them for the Lisbon Summit, and the LES is set to be opened by the Director General for Translation. Yoda Georgakopoulos highlighted upcoming data from LS 2026 and the European Masters in Translation. In North America, the American Translators Association reports that changes to freelance parliamentary interpreter accreditation in Canada have been knocked by the association, and Connecticut has published a guide to help school districts support multilingual learners. Slator also released key insights from the New York Language Access Report. Finally, looking at cultural nuance, Osaka Language Solutions released a guide on hidden meanings in Japanese language and culture for 2026 to 2027. Antonella Speroni teased big news for freelance translators at Translated, and Isabella Massardo covered developments in medical translation. Slator wrapped up the previous year by publishing the top 25 language industry quotes of 2025 and an analysis of the most clicked-on language jobs. Thank you for listening to this episode of Localization News You Can Use, your daily dose of localization know-how.